Hello, my friends. Eric Feltus here, life coach, speaker, actor, and host of The Great Unbecoming. This is a show about stories of unlearning. What did you let go of in order to become the person you are today? And what did you gain and learn as well? This is a show about letting go of stories that no longer serve us and stepping into our own authenticity. It's about unbecoming what society says you should be and remembering who you are and who you are meant to be. So sit back, relax, and welcome to The Great Unbecoming. Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of The Great Unbecoming, and happy Pride. Oh my gosh, y'all, confession. The only reason I started a podcast was so that I would have an excuse to bring this wonderful man on to talk to me. Wait till you hear Brandon Robertson's bio, y'all. Reverend Brandon Robertson is a noted author, activist, and public theologian working at the intersections of spirituality, sexuality, and social renewal. Robertson is most known for his work as the TikTok pastor. That's where I found him on TikTok, creating thousands of TikTok videos on inclusive theology, which have garnered over 215,000 followers and 5 million views. A prolific writer, he is the author of 9 books on spirituality, justice, and theology, including the Indies Book of the Year Award finalist, True Inclusion, Creating Communities of Radical Embrace. Robertson has bylines in publications such as Time Magazine, San Diego Union Tribe, The Huffington Post, NBC, and The Washington Post, and is a regular columnist for Bishop John Shelby Spong's Progressing Spirit newsletter, as well as Baptist News Global. As a trusted voice on progressive faith and politics, Robertson is regularly interviewed in national and global media outlets, including CNN, National Public Radio, MSNBC, Hot Press Ireland, The Independent UK, and The New York Times. In 2021, Rolling Stone magazine included Robertson in its annual hot list of top artists, creatives, and influencers who are, quote unquote, giving us reason to be excited about the future. I love that. Each year, Robertson speaks on a variety of topics across the globe and has been an honored speaker at renowned institutions such as the White House, Oxford University, the Parliament of World Religions. In 2023, Robertson was chosen to be a speaker at TEDx Lake Superior State University. He's taught seminars for San Francisco Theological Seminary and Disciples Seminary Foundation, and currently serves on the faculty of the Lakelands Institute. He has served on advisory committees and working groups for the Democratic National Convention, the U.S. Department of State, the Department of Health and Human Services, the Humane Society, and in 2020 was named a fellow of the prestigious Salzburg Global Seminar. Named by the Human Rights Campaign as one of the top faith leaders leading the fight for LGBTQ plus equality, Robertson has worked with political leaders and activists around the world to end conversion therapy and promote the human rights of sexual and gender minorities. He works as a national organizer of people of faith on a wide array of social and political issues, and is a founding member of the Union of Affirming Christians, the Global Interfaith Commission on LGBTQ plus lives, the Ozan, oh my gosh, y'all, I gotta take a break, the Ozan Foundation US, and serves as a patron of One Body, One Faith UK. But wait, there's more. Robertson received his Bachelor of Arts in Pastoral Ministry and Theology from Moody Bible Institute, his Master of Theological Studies from Iliff School of Theology, and his Master of Arts in Political Science and Public Administration from Eastern Illinois University. He's currently pursuing his PhD in religion from Drew University. He currently resides in New York City. So my first question, and this is a serious one, is when are you going to get off your ass and do something with your life?
First of all, so sorry for making you read all of that. So ridiculous.
You didn't make me do anything.
Ridiculous.
Pause real quick. At first, I was like, I need to cut some of this, but then I always read them out loud once, even though I still stumble over words. And I was like, I don't want to cut any of this. I'm just so honored to be talking to you, and it's not fluff. It's all important stuff, and to be recognized by such massive institutions for doing such amazing work, especially to raise you up in this way on Pride Month, is significant. So, but seriously, stop being lazy.
Well, likewise. I've been following your work for at least the past 2 years that I've been active on TikTok and been really impressed. I've watched so many of your sermons when you're speaking, I think at the community you're a part of or
Yeah.
around the Los Angeles area. And
Hmm.
so it's really exciting to get connected to you in this way.
I'm so happy that you're here, and thank you for that. So, where do I even start? I obviously you've done so much, but I want to go in reverse. I want to start back at the beginning. And y'all, so I met Brandon. This is not the beginning, but I met him, quote unquote, met him through TikTok and then Instagram. We've talked a few times in the DMs, and then we realized that we had a mutual friend who goes to my church. So then we got to talk about that. He agreed to be on the podcast, but I am so I'm just so moved by the way you handle such fear-filled commentators, oftentimes with just just true genius theological backing. It's one of those things I tell my clients this a lot. You know, if I say being gay is wrong, or you're going to hell, or just something absurd, and it makes you do this, if you're watching on YouTube, you see what I'm doing. But if it makes you kind of contrast and go inward, that's where you're at. That's okay. But it seems to me at this point, Brandon, when someone says something like that to you, it's no different than someone saying, "Oh, that's a red shirt that you have on," and you go, "Well, actually, it's not. Maybe get your eyes checked." Right? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't affect you, and I'm assuming it hasn't always felt that way. I'm assuming you haven't been this confident in who you are, or am I wrong?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And part of it, I mean, part of it is an act. There are, as of late, I will say, the level of vitriol and the kind of attacks that I'm experiencing and that so many of us are experiencing are at a level that I didn't expect. Just recently, earlier this month or last month, there were TikTok accounts, whole accounts formed just focused on me with some dude in a mask saying that he was going to expose me and people trying to dox me and like just these level of threats have been a lot. And
Mm,
I think that speaks to the moment that we're in, that a lot of people are afraid that progressives are winning, that LGBT inclusive Christians are winning. But to your point, I mean, part of the reason I've done the education that I've done, part of the reason I'm getting this PhD is not because I'm particularly a good student or because I want to be in academia, but because over the years, I got really tired of evangelicals, overeducated evangelical pastors with kind of bogus master's degrees, to be honest, telling me that they knew the Bible better than I did and they had credentials better than other queer people. And I was like, well, fine, I'll do the work. I'll get to
game
your level
on.
so that I can then, yeah, stand and say this is the truth. And so it's taken a long time. I put a lot of work into it, but
Yeah.
it still gets me sometimes.
Of course, you're human. And I think it's important for people to hear that. I always remind people that, you know, myself and guests I bring on, we might be experts to some degree in the fields in which we are in. However, we haven't always felt this way. So that being said, to humanize you a little bit for these people, because I don't want people to hear your story and be like, oh, I'll never have a PhD. I'll never
Mm,
be in Time Magazine. I'll never be at the White House. Therefore, I can't A, fight back on social injustice, or B, love myself as I am. That's just
mm,
not true. So
yeah.
can you go back and you tell us, like, start near the beginning of your life of, like, you know, that intersectionality of when you realized you weren't straight, and how that conflicted with your upbringing and your faith.
Yeah. I mean, my story is the story of so many people. And I know you get this as you sit and talk to people. I grew up in a non religious family in a lower class trailer park in Maryland. And I had an abusive alcoholic father and just a very unstable home environment. And that's what initially led me to start going to church with my neighbors at the age of 12.
Mm,
One, I just wanted to kind of escape my home and escape the community I was a part of.
wow.
And so I would go to church with them. It turns out they went to a fundamentalist Baptist church, which
Mhm.
is not where I would suggest most people go. But I started attending, and within a few months, I had a conversion experience that changed my life. Looking back now with the language and that I have now, I would say part of that was truly, I think, a divine experience with a God of love. But part of it was just being a part of a community who saw me as the
Mm.
shy, awkward, abused young boy with anxiety and panic attacks, and was glad that I was there and said, "You can be a part of our community." And then getting to witness the pastor stand up every week and in his loud, booming voice, despite most of the theology I'd probably disagree with today, the message still came through that there was a God who loved me and had a plan for my life. And probably about 6 to 8 months after starting to attend church, I felt a distinct sense of calling to be a pastor.
Wow.
And so, really, from 12 years old to now I'm 31, I've been pursuing this path. But um, it was also at that same period of time, I was just hitting puberty
Yeah.
and I started having questions about my sexuality. And I have this one visceral memory, and it's so weird how these memories are the ones that get lodged within us. But I used to sneak into this sanctuary. It was a Baptist mega church. And so I would sneak in during the day, this massive sanctuary by myself.